So before we start, let's have a quick look at the materials. We've got ultramarine, lemon yellow, Payne's grey, alizarin crimson, raw sienna, burnt umber and light red. We've got our 3 brushes, large one, Ransonache, number 3 rigger and 3/4 inch flat. Piece of card there in case I want to scrape out any rocks or whatever. That's a knife there. I do that for like doing boat masts or things like that. It's a Bob Ross knife. Comes in handy sometimes. The paints are Cotman watercolour tubes, squeezed out and allowed to dry overnight. Watercolour jar with a nice lip on it, which takes a lot of the excess water off the hake, which comes in handy. 15 by 11 cold press Fabriano watercolour paper, and I've got tea towel drying on the top there. I'm going to start with a large hake, just clear water, not too much though, just to give it a good lubrication all over so it stops that horrible crinkling. Also lets the sky colours soften off without going all hard, with no hard edges. So this is just raw sienna, just coming all the way down to the bottom. Then I'm going to clean the brush. I'm going to go ultramarine with a bit of Payne's grey, make it a sort of more moody looking blue, and then just brush it in a bit like that. Sort of something like so. And then I might even clean it again. A bit of alizarin crimson and rose and Payne's grey. That's a bit wet there, so I'm taking the excess off on the tea towel. And you can even try popping a few little clouds in. Maybe even take a piece of tissue. There's a few little white clouds maybe over here somewhere. Some up here as well, I think. That'll do. Don't get crazy with them. And I'm going to take all the sky colours and then put in the most distant bit of land. So there's some over there, and then there's a big monster over here. Trying to get all these little ridges and things. So I'm trying not to paint over the same bit of paper more than once, and that way all your brush strokes show up better. Just dipping into raw sienna amongst all the other colours, and that sort of just drifts off. A bit of lemon yellow here. There's a little bit of greenish, well, a hint of it down the bottom there. Just trying to make sure it's level, parallel rather, with the bottom of the paper, so you don't want it sort of slanting one way or the other. I'm just going to clean my brush. And then take that excess off on the tea towel. Now, just a little bit of green, just a touch of blue, bit of green. And then let's just give it a quick sweep like that. Down there, something like that. There's a bit of green going off there in the distance. Bit of grass there. And I'm just leaving, see how it's all broken. So you get like the bits of unpainted, well, it's like the previous bit of coating I was doing, the raw sienna showing up underneath, but that could be like little buildings or whatever, all these little bits of unbroken paints. There's a little bit of burnt umber into it. And there's a few little darker areas, like just giving the impression of something else happening there. Just trying to be very subtle with this. Right, then we got some trees there. Paper stretched slightly, so I'm just going to pull it tight first. So I've got a flat surface, because you don't want it like this where the paper's flapping about under your brush. And then once it's flat, see how all the hairs have come apart. So if I just dip the tips, just the very tips into the water, and it brings them all back together again without saturating your brush as well with water. Now there's some trees on this side, so I'm not going to bother drying it. See if I can get to the end without drying it. I don't know if I can or not. These are sort of browny coloured trees. So I'm doing sort of a bit of all this, bit of everything, but predominantly sort of raw sienna, burnt umber. And then it's like a sort of hump over there. Get something else in there, just a bit of variation. I've been such a light red, really sort of livening up. Not too much because it'll quickly dominate. And just trying to just where those fields and things are divided up. Just trying to give a hint, not very little detail needed at this sort of distance. Just using the corner slightly. Got hairs, there's hairs coming out all over the place, but it's just something you have to put up with, unfortunately, with these brushes. There then. Now on the right hand side, I'm not bothering to clean it. I've got more sort of greeny, sort of goes up there like that. Again, I'm trying to vary it as I'm coming down. Let's clean the brush. I want a sort of lighter green than that. Mix off on the towel, back into that lemon yellow. See how light that's gone now. You see it's nice light green down there. You can come a little bit closer there. I just want to darken that because that's closer now, that edge. I want to emphasise that bit more. That's it. It's blending in too much with this distant bit apart. I just wanted to emphasise it. Darken out a bit now. Now what I want next is a path. Well, let's put the path in next. Let's make a nice pathy colour. I mean, I think a light red and ultramarine. I suppose I should vary it a bit, not really, but mind you, this path, it's more, let's go sort of Payne's grey, ultramarine, bit of burnt umber, and then the path sort of goes, from over there and then like that, and then just sweeps across there. Just gives a nice sort of flow into the scene. So now I've got the path in, I've got something to work to now. So let's keep varying this side. So I've got it in dark there, so let's put a bit of lighter in. And then once it's lighter, let's go darker again. Bit of light red at the bottom, just to really liven it up a bit. See, a bit too much that was, I've livened it up too much. Again, that's another plane on there. I just wanted to emphasise that so it's stuck up more against the background. So that's dark, so let's go back to light again. Push it right up to the path. in. So all these little white bits, I might just fill those in with a light. I'm either going to go raw sienna or lemon yellow. I might just a bit of raw sienna. I'm just going to fill those bits in, so there's not too many white gaps. Also, I'll just darken those edges slightly. Just emphasise it a bit more with a few little rocks. Just using the corner of a plastic card here. I just want to emphasise this path with these rocks. Obviously they get further and further away. They get smaller and smaller as they go further and further away. So let's just go for some real dark, nice dark tones in the foreground. Just little bits of grass here and there. Brush is quite dry now. You can see how I want it to split now. I want it nice and strong. Just bits of grass and stuff. And just keep stopping and look back at it and see how you're getting on. It's so easy to overdo it. I think I'm going to leave the mess a bit. I might need to give it just a quick dry before I put the figure in. Switch to the rigger, just a little rigger brush, and let's start with just a bit of light red so it stands out. But I'm just going to start off with the shoulders, and I'm just doing like a little carrot shape really. And I'm going to switch to the ultramarine, just put his legs in, little head, and then maybe like a little stick that he's using to walk with. Let's put another one there. Just a couple of sticks. Just something behind. Just gives you a little focal point. Again, nice dark colour. I'm just going to stick my name somewhere. Just go there. I'm going to call that one done. So let's have a closer look at it. So here's our painting with the mount on. Always looks better with a mount on. So let's go in and have a closer look at it. As always, started with the sky. These clouds haven't come out great actually. You can see how it started to dry as I put them in, so you can see how I've ended up with hard edges as opposed to the softer edges there. So it looks a bit naff, but never mind. Always put the most distant land in using the same colours as the sky. I'll push it right back, and then as we come forward to these closer hills and mountains, I'll introduce a bit more, use stronger tones and a bit more raw sienna and those sorts of colours. A bit more ultramarine, raw sienna, and these coming down close to the foreground. Mind you, we're still not foreground, middle ground rather. And you can see these little unbroken, the broken paint. That's why I put it in really quick. And these could almost be like little houses, rather than paint them in. It's an easy way of suggesting them. You can see where I was using the chisel edge of the height just to divide the fields up, look like little hedgerows. Coming closer still, we've got a sort of foreground hills. See how I've tried to vary it, the dark and in the light, and it's sort of automatic sort of shadows really. Sort of painting these sort of shadows as you go along. Again, same on this one. I've sort of darkened it deliberately to try and get the profile so it stood out against the background, and then lightened it as it's come forward. And then a bit of dry height work just to give these foreground grasses a bit of prominence. See, by putting the edges of the path in dark, you get like, use a piece of card, scrape out a few rocks. Doesn't look quite effective, and then our path winds nicely into the middle ground with our walker there with his 2 walking sticks on his way. Well, thanks for watching, I hope you like that. Any questions, please ask. Keep practicing, and I'll see you again soon.